This is the Ohio AgNet from the Voice You Know at the News You Trust studio, sponsored by BASF and Zidua, the most trusted name in herbicides, providing Ohio soybean and corn acres with up to 2 weeks more residual activity and broad spectrum weed control. We're live from Ohio Beef Expo for today's Midday Report. I'm Ty Higgins, joined by Elizabeth Harsh. She is the Executive Director of the Ohio Beef Council and Ohio Cattlemen's Association. Good to see you.
Well, welcome to the Beef Expo.
Yeah, what a great event to really showcase your industry. What are some of the highlights that those attending can look forward to?
You know, there's so much. There's so many different parts of the Beef Expo. From our seed stock sales, we've got 7 of those. Our first ones all kick off Friday evening, and then they'll all be all day Saturday. We've got about 450 head of seed stock from all across the country. So there's really something for every operation. Of course, we've got probably, we haven't heard the final numbers, but probably 1,000 head in our junior show. That's as competitive as any you'll find anywhere in the country. So we're still checking those animals in. On Friday is showmanship, so that'll be competitive as well. And then yesterday we had 550 youth actually in our judging contest. So, and then we're getting ready today for another component, in addition to the tremendous trade show, is working with Live Ag, sponsored by United Producers, that's going to sell 23,000 head online of feeder cattle. So, you know, times are great in the beef industry, so we're looking forward to it.
And that's something I want to talk about, because a lot of times this is a chance for producers to get together and really kind of visit about how things are going on their farms, and you know how diverse Ohio agriculture is. What are some of the things that are going to be talked about here at Expo, and what's the current state of your industry here in the Buckeye State?
Well, you know, the industry's strong. We're enjoying great times. Now, obviously, input costs have went up. We've got challenges across the board with inflation, you know, with fertilizer, all the kind of things that everybody is well aware of as we get ready to plant. But, you know, we're dealing with a 70-year low supply. And but we're interestingly, conversely, we've got a 40-year high in terms of consumer beef demand. And that means that the industry has really listened to their customer, and we're producing so many more in terms of really high quality beef and satisfying that eating experience. So the percent of prime and choice cattle is really keeping those consumers at the meat counter and willing to make that purchase.
So rare that things are good in the show ring and at the grocery store as well. But there are things outside of that impact your industry directly. What are some of the issues that your members are thinking about as we get into the meat of 2026 and beyond?
Well, we're obviously, like most of agriculture, want to see the Farm Bill passed, long overdue. You know, there was lots of great wins, especially on the tax side, in the one big, beautiful bill. But there's some things that we need, especially from an animal health threat that is in the Farm Bill 2.0. So that's a focus for us, looking at that. And that kind of leads us to some of the threats that we're monitoring. You know, obviously, foreign animal disease, making sure we've got funding for vaccine banks, that we're doing everything we can, because New World screwworm threat is not just necessarily a southern border threat. A little closer to home, we continue to monitor the black vulture issue. That's a huge issue for our members, and we're seeing some discussion about that in Congress again. So hopefully we can get some legislation addressed on that front that helps our folks.
Going to be a great weekend here in Columbus at the Ohio Beef Expo. Elizabeth Harsh joining me. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
The Jackson County Regional Livestock Market will have their West Virginia Southern Bull Test sale on Friday at 6 p.m. JCRLM.com, your livestock authority. And get ready to see the future of farming. Join Ag Revolution for the Ohio Massey Ferguson Roadshow, March 26th at AgRev's Urbana location. Learn more and RSVP at agrev.com. Let's check the forecast, brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance, online at seedconsultants.com. Here's Ryan Martin.
This moisture is kind of streaking out of Michigan and southern Canada. That's why we're going to be dealing with clouds off and on through the rest of this afternoon, and few hit and misses scattered showers. We clear out overnight, and your weekend looks very nice. Saturday is going to be sunny and warm, very pleasant. Sunday, sun to start, clouds increase, and I think late in the day we have to deal with showers again. I'm Ryan Martin.
Today's market analysis brought to you by Louis Dreyfus Company. Excited to bring a brand new soybean crush facility to Upper Sandusky. Learn more about marketing your soybeans with LDC at 574-566-2113. Corn export commitments now total 2.664 billion bushel in 25-26. That's up 30% from a year ago and ahead of USDA's estimated pace. A few private firms released pre-report acreage estimates for the USDA plantings intentions, adding 4.5 million soybean acres. The cattle on feed report will be released after the close today. The average trade estimates for the report of on feed numbers as of March 1 at 99.3%, and hog futures are nearing the lows of February 13th. This could be a level of support. The weakness of hog futures on Thursday may see follow-through selling today, though. Midday Markets brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance. Online at seedconsultants.com. Corn for May down 4 3/4 at $4.65 a bushel. July 4.75 3/4, down by 4 1/4. Soybeans for May 11.64 3/4, off by 3 3/4. July 3 cents lower at midday, 11.80 1/4. And wheat for July down 6 points at 6.13 1/2. April live cattle 233.80, up by 52. Lean hogs for April 91.87, down 17 cents. May lean hogs down 17 as well at 95.87, and feeder cattle for April up by 2.75 at 350.50. This is the Ohio AgNet.